I'm Lindsay Marsh, and today I'm going to show you how to make a perfectly piped pillow using the Opal 670 machine. Before we get started, you're going to need to get a few things. The first thing you're going to need to get is some nice cording to go around your pillow. This is a size 2. This is the size that I prefer to use because I think it stands up really nicely. So you'll need enough. You'll need to get enough length to go around the entire perimeter of your pillow. Today we're also going to be putting in an invisible zipper. So I always like to purchase my invisible zippers 2 inches larger than the size of my pillow form. You'll also want to get a standard size pillow form. Now you can find these at any of your craft retailers. They're usually in multiple sizes, ranging from about 12 by 12 up to 22 by 22. So today we're going to work with a 16 inch by 16 inch pillow form, and I've bought my invisible zipper at 18 inches, again 2 inches larger than my pillow form. You're also going to want to buy some fabrics. Now that's the fun part, picking which fabrics you love the most. So I've picked a beautiful mane print, and so you're going to need about 1/2 meter for your mane. And then I've also picked this beautiful pink to contrast for the piping. So you'll probably need about 1/2 meter or a fat quarter to cut your bias strips out of. A few other things that we're going to need in utensils: we're going to need a marking pen, a nice ruler, sharp pair of scissors, and the most important thing that is going to make your pillow turn out perfect are these wonderful feet by Husqvarna Viking. We have our clear piping foot that we're going to use today, and we also have our clear invisible zip. These 2 feet are going to help you achieve that perfect professional finish. Alright, now that you have all your supplies prepared, we're actually going to start cutting and getting ready to make our pillow. The first thing you're going to want to do is take your main piece, and you're going to want to cut it the exact same size as the pillow form that you purchased. So today I'm cutting a 16 inch by 16 inch square to go with the pillow form that we've purchased. Another handy tip to make sure that you don't get the bunny ears in the corners of your pillows. So what I tend to do is I take my marking pen and I mark down 1/2 inch and down 2 inches from the corner, and I draw a line. I repeat the same on the other side. Now I take my scissors and I cut on those 2 lines. What I'm left with is just a little bit going in, okay? So I'm taking away a bit of the corner, a bit of the bolt, and now when I go around those corners, it's going to come in slightly. So I'm calling this grading the seams so that you can get a much more full stuffed pillow. So you're going to repeat that for all 4 corners. The next thing you want to get prepared after you prepare your front is your back, and if you're doing a 16 by 16 inch pillow form, you're going to want to cut 2 rectangles 16 inches in length by 9 inches wide. So we're taking the half of the measurement and adding an extra inch to it to give us that 9 inches width. The next thing you're going to want to prepare are your bias strips. So you'll need to cut your strips on the bias, and I have enough length here to go all the way around my pillow. And if you're using a 1/4 inch piping like I suggested, or a size 2, you're going to want to cut your strips 1.5 inches. Everything prepared, we're going to start making our piping. So you're going to want to take your 2 bias strips that you've cut. You're going to take the first one and lay it right sides up, facing towards you. Your next piece you're going to place right side facing down and creating half of a T, okay? So out to the side so that they intersect at a 90-degree angle. So you have multiple angles here. Now what I've done is I've taken a pen and a ruler, and I've marked from the top corner down to the bottom corner, alright? So then I'll take my pin on either side of it, and then I'm going to place it underneath my machine and sew directly on that line. What I love about the Opal is that I can actually touch this button here. This is the needle up, needle down button, so that it holds all the fabric in place as I take my needles out. Pin. And then we're going to use our scissors right here at the top, and it's going to cut just perfectly. Lift our foot up, and then we can see that it makes one long length. Now we need to get rid of these little end bits, so what we're going to do is just take our scissors and we're going to cut up over 1/4 inch and then clip again. So it's made it really nice. So I've done about 1/4 inch away from the seam. And now we have our nice long bias strip. So once you've pieced all of your bias strips together, now it's time to put your cording in. So we're going to take our cording. Now if you're a bit of a beginner, what you're going to want to do is go to your iron and actually iron this whole long piece in half with wrong sides facing each other and the raw edges matching. What that's going to do is it's just going to give you a little bit of a guide, a little bit of a placement for where you're going to lay your cording. So what we're going to do is we're just going to place that right in the middle, roll those two pieces together so that we can see that raw edge. Now what we're going to do is we're going to come over to our machine and we're going to use our clear piping foot. Now what's so special about this foot is that right on the underneath there's actually a groove. What that groove is going to do is go right over the top of your piping. It's going to hold it in place so that it can't move to the right or the left while you're sewing around. That's what's going to give you those perfect corners that you've been after. So we're just going to take this foot off. They just snap on and off. That's what's great about Husqvarna Viking. All of our feet are just snap on, snap off. Pop that on, and we're not going to change our needle position or anything. We're going to leave it right there in the center. So matching raw edges. We're going to place this under our foot so that it directly goes under that little groove, so the piping's fitting under the groove, and all we're going to do is just sew a straight line. You're going to continue to sew that all the way to the very, very end, and then we're going to use our scissors, give it a bit of a cut, and you'll have your perfect piping ready to go on your pillow. Now I'm going to take my front piece, I'm going to mark where the center is, I'm going to take my cording and I'm going to place it right there directly on the center. Now where I have the pin here, that's where I'm going to begin sewing, and I'm going to show you how to go around a curve. We're going to place this underneath our machine, and again we still have that clear piping foot on. So when I put my foot down and when I put my needle down, it's going to go directly over the cording because there's that groove there holding it in place. So we'll do just a couple of stitches and then start moving forward. Okay, keeping the raw edges together, we're going to sew till we're nearly to the edge. Now I like to stop with my needle down, take my scissors, and I make 3 small clips right here at the corner. I clip all the way in almost to the stitches, but don't quite clip all the way to the stitches. Once you've made your 3 clips, that's going to enable your cording to go around the curve really nicely. So we're going to sew all the way to the end. We're going to stop about 1/2 inch away from the edge with our needle in the down position. Lift the foot, pivot, match back up the raw edges here, put the foot back down. Again, that groove is going to go right over our piping, and then we're going to continue sewing. You have 3 more chances to practice because you have 3 more corners. You're going to repeat that steps 3 more times until you get back to the beginning. I've now sewn around all 4 corners, making sure that I clip in each corner so that the piping can go nicely around. And now I'm back at the beginning. What you'll see is that here's center. I've stopped sewing about 2 inches away from center. I then have overlapped 2 and cut about 1 inch away where they overlap. I then took my seam ripper or quick unpick and opened up this seam right here to expose your cording. The next thing you're going to want to do is lay the 2 pieces together so that you can see where the cording overlaps. You're going to take your scissors and you're going to cut directly where the 2 of those pieces meet, like so. See how they're butting up against each other. Now with that extra bit that you have sticking out, we're going to fold that raw edge back. Now we have a really nice finishing edge, and we're going to place one inside the other. So we're going to place this piece down first, which is opened. We're going to place this inside of there, and then we're going to roll it up on top of itself. Now it's all encased and very nice. We're going to put this back underneath our machine, and we're going to sew directly over it, back stitching at the end and using our scissors. Now that you have your entire front completed, we're going to start working with the back pieces. So you have your two back rectangles, and we're going to attach our invisible zipper. So what you see here is I've actually pinned it to one side so that the raw edges are matching. I've placed, this is the metal pull end, and I've placed it face down, and you also will be able to notice that I've had it come off the ends about 1 inch on each side. So that way I can now unzip the zip, and the entire zipper pull is completely out of my way. Now today I'm going to be using the clear invisible zipper foot, and at the front of the foot you actually have a little nose, and that nose acts as a snow plow where it pushes the coils out of the way so that you can get really close to the edge so that you have that nice invisible zipper. So I'm going to snap that on. I'm not going to move my needle at all. I'm going to place my invisible zip underneath. I'm going to take one of my fingers, and I'm just going to kind of pull that back, pull the coils back, place the foot down, and then I'm going to sew to the very end, back stitching at the end and cutting it with my scissors. Now that you've completed side one of your invisible zipper, now it's time to do the next side. So we're going to grab our other rectangle, and we're going to put it right sides together, and we're going to match up that raw edge that we have left over and match them up together like you see here. Okay, so the metal pull is going to face down, and I'm going to put the pins facing the right way up. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to open this up just to check and make sure that my zipper really is in the middle, just in case you didn't pin it correctly. We're going to unzip that, take it, put it underneath your machine. Now we're still using that clear invisible zipper foot, so what we're going to do is we're going to take our finger and we're just going to peel back those coils a little bit, put the foot down so that that nose is doing all the work for you, peeling those coils back as you sew. We're going to start sewing, and then we're going to sew all the way to the end, do a back stitch, and then use your scissors and give it a bit of a cut. Once you've completed your invisible zip, you're now going to take the front of your pipe pillow that you've already created. You're going to unzip the zipper halfway. You're going to take the two pieces and put them right sides together, okay, like so. And then you'll take your pins, and you're going to pin all the way around the entire pillow. You're going to take off your invisible zipper foot, put back on your clear piping foot, put it under the machine, sew the entire way around the entire pillow, do a back stitch at the end, clip it, and then you're going to turn the entire thing right side out. To finish your perfectly piped pillow, turn it right side out, insert your pillow insert, and zip it up in the back. And then you have your perfectly piped pillow. As you can see, each of the corners have turned out absolutely perfect, and as you could see, it was so easy to do on the Opal 670 machine with my clear piping foot. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope you enjoy your new perfectly piped pillow.